Hello everyone and welcome to the 7th episode of the Heavensward Dungeon Lore series. In this series, I hope to explain things you might not know about Final Fantasy XIV dungeons, as well as discuss their individual stories and lore. This episode's dungeon is Neverreap. After defeating King Thordan and settling much of the tension in Ishgard, the Warrior of Light finds themselves with not too much to do for the time being. After infiltrating into the huge machine deity known as Alexander, the Warrior of Light returns to the Sea of Clouds to assist the Zundu tribe of the Vanu with their qualms. We strike up a conversation with Tonu Vanu standing next to the chieftain of Okzundu. They have a request for us regarding the authority of the Zundu, as they face the truculence of the Vundu trying to oust them from the Sea of Clouds. He tells us of the culture of the chieftain's mask, and how Sonu Vanu's is old and worn. The problem with replacing it, however, is that the mask is made from the scale of Wakeon, a serpent-like creature found only within Neverreap, a sacred sanctuary of the Vanu. The raging winds and shrines have been overtaken by the Vundu, trying to claim the entire area for themselves, forbidding the Zundu from entering the place. Sanu sends us to speak with Tonu Vanu outside the entrance to the place, to chase out the Vundu and claim the Wakeon scale. We are greeted by Tonu, who reminds us of the sacredness of the place, and bids us have care against the storms found within. We arrive on the small island at Neverreap and speak with Tonu Vanu, who welcomes us and gives us a handful of thunder eggs to be used upon the altars throughout the place, as the wind guides those who leave the eggs as tribute. We place the first upon the nearby altar and use the wind to carry us up to the pebble that skips. Before seeing any of the Vundu tribe, we tackle a handful of flying birds and creatures presumably angered by the state of the winds in the place. After using a second thunder egg, the next platform has a handful of powerful miniature tornadoes travelling up and down the path, launching any unlucky enough to come into contact with them. At the end of this platform, a third altar stands, which takes us to the God Who Whispers, where a large bird specimen known as Nunyanuk awaits. During the fight, the creature uses its sharp feathers to fling them at the party, or otherwise combine them with the wind to blast any in front of itself. When injured, some thicker clouds surround the arena, concealing Nunyanuk within them. The party must find its shadow and attack from nearby to force it back out into the open, while also dealing with its separated feathers, each of which explode if not handled. Upon defeat, we take the next cloud altar upwards to find the Vundu camp, where several Vundu and their totems attempt to bar our entry onto Neverreap. A magical barrier is formed by two of the totems nearby, each of which must be defeated to open the way. After defeating a treant and some wasps, a second barrier stands guarded by yet more Vundu, after which we reach the wind that summons, where a Vundu shaman known as Kanu Vanu awaits. During this battle, the Vanu berates the party for trespassing on sacred ground, and summons forth yet more totems upon individual party members. After calling forth a few of them, he begins channeling Totem Chant, summoning a huge ritual circle on the floor. The party must quickly move any totems standing in the circle out of it, and if not, the remaining ones are empowered and come to life, protecting Kanu Vanu until defeated. He also uses Morrow Cloud to inflict heavy damage and cause a party member to bleed. When Kanu falls, we can proceed onwards to the Water That Sings, a very pretty area with a small lake and lily pads, with a large crystal formation in the background. We place the final thunder egg upon the cloud altar, causing rocks from beneath the water's surface to rise up, forming a long platform with geysers all the way along. The Vundu seem extinguished by this point, as more of the local creatures attack us here, mostly water-based jumping out of the lake to defend their territory. After defeating a pair of Dharmals, as well as a handful more monsters, we reach an isolated platform known as the Cloud That Laughs, where our quarry awaits. Upon a tempestuous wind, the Wakion spirals and descends onto the arena, roaring and attacking the party. Unsurprisingly, the Wakion is a master of controlling the winds, and uses them to great effect during the battle. Passively, the Serpent gains more and more of a tailwind, allowing it to dodge the majority of attacks easily after a time. It uses the winds and mists to call upon elementals of water and wind, the latter of which prevent damage upon Wakion until defeated. Each time the wind sprites are defeated, the Wakion unleashes its tailwind in the form of a turbine, pushing back anyone in the room, even to their incapacitation if too close to the edge of the platform. Other than this, the Serpent unleashes a powerful overflow of water, flooding the arena to deal damage to the party. After tackling more sprites and the powerful winds called forth by the Wakion, it falls and is defeated. We managed to obtain the scale from the Wakion and bring the news back to Sanuvanu, and he informs us that it is a mighty one indeed. The mask fashioned from it will tell all that Sanuvanu will appear to command a mighty storm of lightning, as opposed to a drizzle of rain. Additionally, the Vundu expulsion from Neverreap allows the Zundu to feel the mighty winds once more, and that unlike their wayward brothers, they accept strangers with open arms, eager to learn from one another. He then thanks us for our efforts, and hopes that we remain a friend to the Zundu for many years to come. And that's the end of the story and lore for Neverreap. Assisting the Zundu once more against their aggressive kin, we in turn allow the chieftain to assert his authority, perhaps helping deter future attempts of the Vundu to overtake the other tribes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy XIV lore, and I'll see you next time for the Fractal Continuum.